Good evening, friends, followers, channel members. Happy Tuesday. Hope you are all well. Hope you all enjoyed the bank holiday weekend. It's great to be back. I myself was away. Many of you will know this weekend, and I actually we took a little. I say a little trip. We did. It was a short trip on a rather oversized ship. Funnily enough, from Southampton. So I thought, what better flight to do this evening when returning back home than a flight into Southampton Airport, where the runway in use at the moment is 02, meaning that we are going to come in over the Docklands, where we sailed from on Sunday morning. No, Friday night. Sorry, Friday night. Really looking forward to seeing that depicted in the sim. I've never really given it that much thought or paid that much attention to it before when flying into it, but having been there less than 48 hours ago, I can look at that with fresh perspective and eyes and see just what that looks like, assuming the weather's going to be good, that is, and we can actually see it. Great thing about Southampton as well, Easyjet do operate to Southampton, but it is a very short runway, it's under 1600 meters, I think. Under 1700 meters, which means that you have to be careful. And so today we have got a fully loaded aircraft. We've got 180 passengers on board, and I actually didn't pick this. SimBrief picked this for me, because I always leave it set to random. And I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. This is going to cause us an interesting sort of, not problem, but something to just work through and discuss. Because what happens if we've got a fully loaded aircraft and scheduled to come and land in on a short runway? Can we actually do it? And the pilots obviously need to know this, because they're obviously not allowed to take off if the flight is in danger of not actually being able to land, because it's not going to stop in time. Nothing to do with being overweight for landing, that's a different subject altogether. But if you're on a short runway and you've got a heavy aircraft, what is the stopping distance going to be of that aircraft? If it's going to exceed, obviously, the distance of the runway, that's no good. You can't depart. You need to do one of two things. You can try and change the aircraft so the Neo has better performing engines, so maybe reverse thrust, that kind of stuff. That will stop a little bit quicker. Or you ultimately need to reduce the weight of the aircraft. How do we do that? Well, we could take less fuel, but that's no good if you can't actually reach the destination safely. So there's lots of things to sort of think about. We could have a little look at that. So let me bring up the operational flight plan, but just before I do, a big welcome to all you guys coming in to the chat this evening. So many channel members coming in. Great to see you guys after a weekend of being away. Hey DC, Resma, Varku, Christian's in the house as well. Hey Fruitbat, Klaus, Blue Dev, Organ Aviator. Are we using Beyond ATC? No, we're on the VATSIM network today, so I thought we'd give Beyond ATC a miss. What we might do in the future, though, if we do a slightly longer stream, we'll try using VATSIM and Beyond ATC together, see how that works to fill in the gaps. Sublime Cantona says he's got me as his Beyond ATC voice. So I get the feeling that I might be the co-pilot now for. I've been demoted to first officer in several people's flight sim setups, and that's that's fine. Hey Christoph, hey Flyboy John, Runway, hey Wayne's here too. Lock you in the cargo hold. Yeah, it'd be a bit cold and that down there, Wayne, but never mind. So yeah, let's bring up the operational flight plan and have a look. Shout out as well to those of you watching on Twitch as well this evening. So here is our operational flight plan. Easy 415, as I say, real world route. So there you can see we are fully loaded. There is 0 underload available. So in terms of taking extra fuel, well, obviously we're not going to do that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to. We wouldn't be able to land. Well, I say that. Let's get into this a little bit. So the alternate tonight is Bristol, not that far away from Southampton, much closer than Glasgow. We've got a tailwind tonight helping us down there, 35,000 feet is planned. Total en route time, because of that tailwind's only 55 minutes as well. Shear rate looks fine, so wind's looking pretty negligible in terms of turbulence and stuff. Expecting to be off 2-3, landing as the runway 02, yeah, which is the nice scenic approach over the docks. Plug fuel is about 5 tons, 4,961 kilograms, and our CNR is 2.1. That's to get us to Bristol. Now I'm going to stop there because Bristol is pretty close, isn't it? In fact, if we have a look at the fuel required to safely get us there, we'd need to take 936 kilogram roundabout. As you can see, that is the fuel required for the alternate. However, let's just say that the alternate was somewhere like Birmingham, which is a little bit further north. So the extra fuel that we need for that would obviously be a little bit more. That means that our total fuel would be even higher, making the weight of our aircraft even larger, or even heavier, which then affects our stopping distance down in Southampton. So one of the other options to do, if you're trying to reduce the weight of your aircraft to get in on a short runway, is choose the closest safe and sensible alternate. It's no good if we had an alternate, say up in Birmingham or Manchester, where we're going to be taking loads of extra fuel, and you've got an airport that's, you know, quite good, like Bristol, then that's going to reduce the amount of fuel you're going to have to take. We could even go closer. There's an airport closer which Easyjet did do some flights to. I think they're seasonal, but they do fly into Bournemouth, which again is not a million miles away from Southampton. It's probably closer. You might only need 500 kilograms, so we could take half a ton less fuel, which that might be the difference between you being able to safely get in at Southampton or not. Of course, the final resort is upsetting passengers and saying, sorry, we're too heavy, we're overbooked, or not overbooked, but the flight is just too heavy, we need to offload passengers on cargo and things in order to get the weight of the aircraft down so we can safely stop. No pilot wants to do that. It's disruptive to the passengers, it's awful for the airline as well, not a good look on them. So the pilots will do everything they can to make sure that is the last resort. Today though, I have done a calculation to make sure, and we can actually get, there is actually no regulated landing weight, but that is only because the weather is actually quite nice in Southampton. If the runway was wet and it was raining, that would be a different matter. We'd be looking to do everything we can on this flight and potentially having to offload some people. Thankfully, we don't need to do that today, so everybody is going to be happy. Clarox, I'm met to you. Thank you so much for the follow, guys, over on Twitch. Hope you're doing well. Kristen, you'd pick Gatwick over Bristol as an alternate in almost every scenario. The only issue with that, Christian, that they are both bases for Easyjet, and Gatwick is usually the busiest, so you're probably going to get a bit more space in Bristol. Gatwick is a good, like I say, Gatwick is a great place, but if you're running low on fuel, let's say that we've had an issue and we need to get in somewhere quickly, you've got a lot of a lot of other aircraft to scatter out of the way going into London, haven't you? Bristol is quiet, it's out of the way, you know, for the amount of flights they've got, there's ample parking, so it's also got a nice ILS approach as well, so it's not like it's somewhere we're not going to be able to get into. The weather's quite nice there as well, so yeah, I don't see a problem with Bristol. Plus, it is closer than Gatwick as well, which is, if we had to have a huge bonus to those passengers. Hey Lulu, celebrating a couple of months of membership as well. Thanks so much. She says, check the tech log. You hear the MOC is somewhat unreliable around here. Well, definitely. Particularly as I think he's a Boeing pilot, and what's he know about Airbus? DC Get also celebrating 30 months of DC, 30 months of channel membership support. Thank you so much for that as well. Christian, but Bristol is windy and up on a hill and has one runway that could potentially close. so is Gatwick. It's only got one, they can only use one at a time. Alright, it has got 2 runways, but they can only use one at a time. I would say there's probably potential for more go-rounds at Gatwick. They are very frequent at Gatwick, probably more so than they are at Bristol. Anyway, we digress. we could discuss that on Discord later on, I guess. Operational flight plan then going down there, that's fine. Here's the weather. You can see everything there is looking beautiful. It's all Cat 1 stuff. Even Newquay, which Easyjet are flying to currently at the moment, even Newquay is Cat 1. Just looks like the worst case scenario is a ceiling at 400 feet. That could be interesting. I'm not quite sure what the minimums are there in Newquay, but it does have an ILS. Also a base training airport for Easyjet as well in the past. Pilot Nerd, good evening to you. So let's just have a look at that. Yeah, the difference between fuel for Bristol and Gatwick, just bringing that in, is not that much. It's about 100 kilograms, which is, I guess, not very much at all. Weather briefing then, Southampton 0408. Yeah, there you go. Cav okay. Few clouds, 4,500 feet level later on, so that's looking really nice. Bristol, again, really nice. Tomorrow morning there's going to be fog. Of course there is this time of year. Fog down anywhere where there's a body of water. And this is our flight routes. Yeah, so this should look rather nice to get going. Looks like we're avoiding any weather fronts or anything like that, so that's lovely. Glasgow, no times. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in here that's going to affect us in the sim. Some lights aren't working, but who cares. Southampton, operational hours, yeah, don't care about that. We're going to be in before that closes anyway. Monday to Saturday, as long as we're in by 10 o'clock, that's fine. Might be late if I keep talking. So yeah, they're all good. So in terms of extra fuel, I could take extra fuel because I think there was no regulated landing weight, so the weather down there is good today. So I could take a little bit of extra fuel, but actually, probably all I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick. We're going to stick 5 tons in the tank, and that should be fine. So. Yeah, let's go with 5 tons. I'll tell the ground crew to get that loaded in a moment. Ash Taylor also celebrating 3 months of channel membership as well. Ash, thank you so much for your support during that time. I really do appreciate all our channel members. So, what I want to say, there's a reason to get Flaps 3 recommended when using the Fenix tablet for calculations. Only because you would be surprised how often some of the real software actually suggests Flaps 3. I do not know the logic behind it choosing Flaps 3, but I know British Airways, for example, they get a Flaps 3 takeoff, even at Heathrow, on their 320s. Long runway, long runway, good conditions, not that heavy, and they'll get a Flaps 3 takeoff suggested to the guys and girls. So it's not entirely unrealistic, but it's not what we're going to use. So let's go through the charts. And so today the jet is parked stand 6. Off runway 23, so that's going to be what? Facing north on Kilo, and then taxiing up on Alpha. Might be able to depart by Bravo if save a little bit of fuel, which is always worth it. Yes, that's straightforward. Nothing major there. It's not the longest of taxis. It's a bit of a short taxi, so that'll be okay. Let's have a look at the departure itself. Straight out, and then MSA is 3,000 feet. Norbo 1 hotel is the plan. Transition altitude also 6,000 feet, so nothing daft there. Navaids, we've got Glasgow and the Tunbury VOR. So yeah, nothing really to note there. Funnily enough, there's no terrain shown on that chart. I do know there's a bit of terrain to the east, which is a sort of little threat there, but nothing major. Okay, so I think that is about it. Should we get into the aircraft and see what it's like? We're at Glasgow tonight, which is obviously Pyrrhus scenery, and let's have a look. There she is, looking absolutely gorgeous. I love the control tower as well, the Nat's control tower shown in the background. A little bit of cloud coming over. The sun is slowly beginning to set there. I'm just telling the ground crew what it is I want them to load. So yeah, say 5 tons of fuel, haven't we? And hopefully we'll get GSX to spring into action in a minute. There we go. Dr. Magic, good morning to you. Hope you are hope you're well. Hey old man, good to see you in the chat. Oh, very well, thank you. I'd like to say I'm well rested after a little holiday away, but anyone who's got young kids knows that holidays away do not leave you well rested. HVC says, is Beyond ATC normal voices good, and which one's recommended? I don't have a problem with them. They have had an issue, I think, with just reading some of the forums. They have had a bit of an issue with the normal voices trying to do some strange accents in non-English native speaking countries. So I believe they're pushing an update to try and fix that. But anyway, yeah, let's just have a quick look around at this is Glasgow. I say Pyrrhy looking good. There's the sun. We might just get out of here before that sun sets, but I think this is one of their best airports. Obviously, they've done Edinburgh as well, which is currently receiving an update. A little bit of work on that. Where's all the cargo? There doesn't look like many bags in that truck just there, does there? Anyway, let's jump on board. Right, so aircraft in its usual turnaround state. I think we've got some ATC. I'll double check that in a moment. Run external power, pumps are off, packs are off, logo lights, etc. Nav lights there on. Spoils, flaps, parking brake. That should be squawking 2000. There we go. Right, let me grab that ATIS if oh, it's not there. Oh, that's a shame. Right, in that case, let me just grab it from the tablet. So, latest weather is winds are 220 at 8. Visibility 10 kilometers, scattered 200 feet, broken 45, temperature is 14 degrees, QNH is 1026. Fine. Okay, so with that 1026 set here, monitor the guard frequency, yeah, audio control panel, that's all fine. Just turn on the lighting while I'm down here. Switching panel, thrust levers, engine mode, master selectors, they are fine. Acupressure's not yet in the greens. Get the constraints on. That initial climb then on the chart 6,000, so we will select that and just turn on the brightness up here as well. I just turn the brightness down of these. The sun's going to go down soon, so I don't really need them to be that bright. Looks like we've got a preliminary load sheet as well, so that's all well and good. Lovely, alright then, so we'll set up the box. Just check RS3 nav greens. Aircraft status is still valid. I did wonder actually after I started this thing, when does the air act run out? We've got another few days before we need to worry about that, so that's cool. We'll just grab the information. ACARS uplink. There it is. And our flight number is Easy415. Usual cost index. Tropo 38650. That's not a million miles away. We'll leave that. Harrison, the most common thing you hear on the guard frequency is animal noises. 5552 0 north 425 756 west, that's fine. Cruising 350 and 57. Departing off to 3 Noble 1 Hotel. And then it's an RNAV approach as well. I should have said that at the start, so that's always good fun. RNAV 2. Bug up 1 Sierra. And we're going to go with Novia as well. 358, 354, so distance is fine. Radar frequency then, obviously Glasgow VOR, also hard tune Tango Romeo November. And then let's have a look at that preliminary load shoot. Harrison, it's not. I don't think it's confined just to the PPL guys. You quite often hear a random cat on the on the guard frequency, or a cow. Right, zero fuel is 61. Yeah, I told you we were fully loaded tonight. CFG is 31.5. Fuel for the alternate is a ton. Let's see what fuel planning says. We're obviously told the guys want 5 tons. There we go. So put 5 tons in there. That gives a takeoff weight of 65.8. So it's just above the max landing weight. And CFG for departure is 30.2. Lovely. Okay, so on to our performance then. Organ, what is the guard frequency? So the guard frequency is basically 121.5. That is the frequency which all pilots should be monitoring, because in case of an emergency or something like that, pilots can broadcast on that frequency to declare that they've got an emergency, they need help, and can relay messages perhaps to the ground if they're out of range, that kind of thing. So obviously it's dry here. We're going to go flaps 1, no need to force target, anti-ice half packs off, takeoff weight is 65.8, CFG is 30.2, and in section data, yeah, we can go by Bravo. That gives us figures of 136, 140, 140. Flaps 1 and flex is 50. Good stuff. So thrust structure acceleration, let's sort that out. Where is SimSmart? There we go. So runway 23. 1018, so it's noise abatement 2, and that's going to be 818, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our Easyjet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first. Keep your small
800 feet AGL for EasyJet. Right, sounds like passengers are coming on board. I can hear the PA announcements going on in the background. Engine out procedure then. Left turn back to the Glasgow VOR. So let's just copy the active, and we shall pop in the Glasgow VOR.
Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no smoking service.
Hold.
Thank you for observing this policy.
229. And right turns. Should we have that problem, we'll come back to Glasgow, landing with the ILS 23. No star, but I believe that the Glasgow VOR is one of the VIAs, so that will be handy, because that should all sync up and look lovely now. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Alright then, so if we're all ready, I reckon we can brief stuff. Passengers are now getting on board. Chris, there's a link to SimSmart in the video description down below. Pilot nerd wasn't thrust reduction 1018. Yeah, so the Orange Airline now, they're 800 feet AGL for for all of those, unless of course it's noise abatement 1 or something specifically different. But yeah, 800 feet. So let's
Passengers bus is coming.
there we go. Let's go through and brief stuff then. We've more or less briefed everything we're doing in the briefing room before we started, but just to confirm stuff, threats and error management. Then we know what we're doing, where we're going, etc. So we know we're taxiing. It's going to be a short taxi. No need for a single engine taxi. Then we're going off Bravo, straight out on 2-3. That initial climb 6,000 feet. MSA is 3,000. No terrain as we go. Little threat, we've got terrain to the east, which we can't see on that chart, but it is there. Transition altitude is also 6,000 feet. No turns blown, 530, and that's fine. This will all be flown in managed mode, then there's no speed restrictions or anything like that, so get the autopilot in, and we don't need to pre-select anything. We can just accelerate and clean up as we go on schedule. So in terms of threats and errors management, not really a great deal to say on this departure. It should be pretty straightforward. The engine out procedure then, if we do lose an engine after V1, then once I've trimmed out, got the autopilot engaged, I will pull the heading buck, and then we'll continue to climb towards our acceleration altitude, and obviously secure the engine, etc. And then once we are above 1,600 feet, then we will push, level off, then continue to make a left turn, and that will then take us back to the Glasgow VOR, where we'll hold safe at 3,000 feet. So I think that is it. So if anyone's got any questions, now's a good time to ask them. So I think we're just waiting for passengers. Double check, make sure there's no ATC. No, there's no ATC, so it's just you and me. Where these passengers are. Oh, the door's just opened up by the looks of things. Hopefully they'll be coming. Do you know, there wasn't a cloud in the sky when I first loaded in. It's just starting to cloud over, which is fine. Those colours will look fantastic as we depart, I'm sure. Nomad Man, anyone else having trouble connecting to Beyond ATC this evening? Obviously I'm not. I don't know if anybody else in the chat is. If you are, then let us know. One of the things that is helping some people that have issues is making sure you install the product as administrator, because it needs to open some create some folders and things, which sometimes some people's PCs are not allowing unless it's been installed as an administrator. But don't think that is affecting everybody. Woodham, will we get to the start then request guidance in? If ATC are around, they would vector you in. If not, we'll just vector ourselves in.
Help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining passengers.
So 5,000 tons fuel has been loaded. We can see that's done. That's all balanced. I don't want to start that. Don't want to start that APU too soon, burning off the fuel, etc. Woodhine, struggling to understand being vectored as opposed to just shooting the ILS. Okay, so, well, we can have a little look at the approach now, I suppose. Saves a bit of time later on, whilst I'm just waiting for the passengers to board. So, we're going to come in on this bug-up star. All the stars in the UK, none of them take you to intercept the ILS, or very few, as far as I'm aware. Most of them take you either to a waypoint from which then air traffic control in real life will pick you up and tell you what heading to fly to intercept the ILS. Now we can see that this star, if we follow it completely, takes us right to the airport, but not to an ILS intercept. It actually takes us to the Southampton VOR, where you would then hold, and air traffic control would then tell you what to do. Of course, what happens in real life is usually not that. What will happen in real life is ATC would get you to somewhere like Pepys, for example, and then as we're flying the RMP approach to runway 02 tonight, we actually need to get to a waypoint called Bantu. So what we will probably do is we'll fly from Pepys. We'll probably continue on that heading of 183 at Pepys, fly over the airport, over the sort of harbour, just north of the Isle of Wight. Then we'll make a right-hand turn to come in and fly to pick up the RMP approach and land on 02. And that is basically vectoring, when you're using heading mode to fly the aircraft to where you want to be. So hopefully that that helps understand what that is. Glenn Jones, good evening to you. Hope you're well. So, yeah, I think we've briefed everything. I'm just literally sat here waiting for passengers to board. I've got a cup of tea. That's the most important thing. There they come. It's a shame Glasgow's quite quiet tonight. There's not many people about. Oh, loving that sunset.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy your drink.
Chris, I only sound like I'm in my mid-20s. I wish I was. Double it and you'd be closer. What else? You don't really plan the star to ILS section of your flight is ATC's decision. It is in the UK, but a lot of other airports, especially in the USA, if you fly in the USA, the stars usually take you straight to the ILS. They just don't here in the UK. Ava, you thought I was a teenager. Oh. In my head, maybe. Right, everyone's on board, I think. Let's get that APU started up.
Cabin crew, boarding is now complete. Any remaining ground crew, please leave the aircraft.
Wutan, you would still put your ILS approach into flyby. Yeah, a lot of people, I think, misunderstand the concept of this and think, well, we'll not put the ILS approach until we know which one we're going to be doing. That doesn't help you, because you need to have your full sort of planned approach and full flight route in there for the aircraft to do its fuel calculations. So you're not going to get accurate fuel calculations if you haven't got the complete flight plan. So always put a full flight in there. If ATC change your star, then that's fine. Nothing wrong with that, and it does happen. So yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Right, APU is starting. Blinded by the light. Kieran, do I have a list of all the mods I use, aside from the aircraft and the airport scenery? So the biggest mods I use are Rex AccuSeasons, that's installed, which is great. Trying to think of other things running. Obviously I've got my hardware that I'm using. Wouldn't ever fly without that now. Right, APU is up and running, excellent. Let's disconnect the external power. Get the pumps on. APU's been running long enough. Let's get the APU bleed on as well. Seatbelt signs, they can come on. Make sure everyone's sat down. Company message, looks like we've got our final load sheet. Let's hope it doesn't differ too much. So takeoff weight is 65.8. Yeah, that's what we planned. And our CFG is 30.2. That is also what we planned. Excellent. No LMCs, no last minute changes. So we're good to go. Gary, what's doing the cabin announcements? That's the Fenix aircraft itself. The Fenix A320 now has cabin announcements built in, which is awesome. Okay, so that's all done, all happy and good. APU sorted. We're now running under our own steam. Ground crew can disconnect the GPU. Let's run our cockpit try that again. Let's run our cockpit preparation checklist. So the aircraft acceptance has been completed. Fuel quantity is 5 tons and balanced. Seatbelt signs are on. Adidas, we have the 3 nav greens, and the bar of Q8 is 1026. Let's change that, 1026, and that's showing 20 feet. Good. Okay, GSX, let's get ready to push. Hey, Michael Jackson's doing the ground crew handling tonight.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Linda, most airlines have the APU running as the passengers board. Well, it's handy to have the APU running as soon as you can, because it means you're ready. You're ready to go. Ground crew can disconnect the ground power unit, but you're not allowed to have it running indefinitely. You could when COVID was around, though, to keep the air circulator in the cabin.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin
now
inserted.
COVID is, you know, pretty much a gone thing, bygone era. We're back to how it was, and that is to not have the APU running all the time, and also lots of airports say you can't start it up more than sort of 5-10 minutes before you go. If you've got Navigraph, a lot of the charts say that on the airport information pages. So different airports have different rules. Okay, so let me just check what frequency we're on. There we are. Glasgow traffic easy 415 stand 6, pushing back facing north on Kilo. And the before start checklist. So parking brake is on, takeoff data has been confirmed, windows are closed, EFB is on flight mode, doors are closed, not yet armed, beacon light is on. Clouds, Gary, thanks for letting me know. Forgot to remove Navigraph. I was just having a look where we were going. Are they waiting for me to remove the parking brake or something? Alright, ground crew, what are you doing? Not quite sure what GSX is doing here. Oh, okay. Tail to the left.
Release parking brakes, please.
And parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, so nose wheel steering is disconnected, and start the timer. Engine mode selected to ignition and starting into oh man, normally the menu will pop up to say which way do you want to push. I've not seen it popped up. It might have done, I might have just disregarded it, so yeah, had to do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft.
Oh, Laurie Cooper, is that you?
Thank you.
Ah, good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket, showing
Tell you what, if Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024
life jackets and brace
can look
position
better
if you
than
must
this,
adopt if you hear
what a
brace,
wonderful time to
brace.
be in flight simulation.
There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you.
Please set parking brakes.
In an emergency, leave all
And parking brakes set.
baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must
Okay,
be
engine one's
fastened
happy
with the
and
seatbelt sign
stable.
on.
Starting
We
engine 2.
recommend to keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above.
Ah, Dr. Magic, I'm not using self-loading cargo anymore. Not since we had to see all the announcements
Put the
built
mask
into
over
the
your
Phoenix
nose
aircraft.
and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before
Unlocking gear.
DSC Spectre, am I using the Phoenix Auto GSX integration? Yes. Yes, I am.
Pass the tapes around your waist.
Good morning, Gav. That's been a while. Hope you're well.
Strap to adjust.
My
Do not
namesake in the
inflate
chat.
it inside the aircraft. When
Tow
excited,
truck
inflate
disconnected.
by pulling
Bypass
the
pin
top.
removed.
If it fails to inflate,
Left is clear. Right is clear.
there is a light and whistle for attracting attention.
Okay, just keep an eye on engine 2. ATC Swede, good evening, my friend. Is it too early to use beyond ATC?
Window blinds open and seatbelt fastened. We wish you.
We
a
know that
pleasant
VATSIM is
flight with
always
Easyjet.
superior. Beyond ATC I do find incredibly good, but it's not VATSIM.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be dimming the lights. You can turn on a reading light.
Right, you need to move out of the way, my dear.
In
You
your
wanna
armrest.
mess my engine up if you don't. Tug driver's got the right idea. He's disappeared. Now you need to walk off somewhere. Right, so engine 2 stable. So engine mode selected back to normal. APU bleed can come off. Anti-ice not required. APU can come off. And on the spoilers, 0 the rudder. Flaps 1. Set the trim. And the after start checklist. Anti-ice is off. ECAM status is checked. Should just be pack 2. Pitch trim is 30.2. Rudder is neutral. Has she gone? Oh yeah. Glasgow traffic easy. 415 taxiing. Runway 23 via Kilo Alpha and intersection Bravo. Alright, let's go. So just aware my cabin crew aren't ready just yet. So it's not a very long flight tonight, so hopefully you guys can stick with us for the duration this evening. Okay, brake check, they're fine. Okay, flight control check then. So go full left, full right, and neutral. Full up, full down, neutral. And if you just zoom out, and rudder. Full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. Alright, so we've got no change to our performance. Engine out procedure is standard, pull heading, 1600 feet, then we can accelerate, make a left turn to the Glasgow VOR, hold 3000 feet. Departure is standard noise abatement 2. Straight out with a left turn, and our initial climb is 6,000 feet. Taxi list, flight controls have been checked, flap setting is config 1. FMAs, we've got climb nav blue 1FD2, 6,000 blue, radar and predictive wind shear are on. ECAM MO, still waiting for the cabin crew, EFB is stowed and disconnected. Quite a few people in chat I can see mentioning sim update 15. Do you know, I had no... Was it meant to be today? I had no idea what day it was meant to be out.
Cabin crew, seats for takeoff.
Finally they're ready.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
That sounds perfect, thank you. Right, approach path looks clear. So, just confirming then, part of the tax checklist, Eco Memo, take off no blue. Glasgow traffic easy 415, lining up runway 23 at intersection Bravo for departure to the south, no boat 1 hotel. Right, so as I said, that approach path is clear. I'll get all the lights on. And TCAS. Master caution, that'll be the side stick fault. Yeah, cancel master caution, disregard, clear cam. Ah, Chris, it better be Yorkshire tea. None of that Tetley's rubbish. Leonardo RF, if you can just save the question until we are airborne, then I'll be sure I don't miss it. Oh, what a gorgeous sunset. All sunsets look good, don't they, in Microsoft Flight Simulator? Although that looks very much like the sunset I saw setting over the English Channel on Saturday night. There was just a bit of cloud on the horizon that spoilt it. Alright, perfect. Let's go. So, take off. Start the chrono. 50% M1 is set. Stable, set takeoff thrust. Takeoff thrust set. Man flex SRS. Runway, auto thrust blue. V1. Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. And nav. Lower the nose and then a thrust climb. Very little wind on that departure, which was nice. Okay, that's past S speed, so flap 0, spoilers disarmed, autopilot 1, let's get the packs on before they shout at me. Give it 10 seconds before we put the other one on. There we go. Right, just going to pass through a cloud layer, just keep an eye on the temperature, that's okay for the moment. Everything looks fine with regards to turbulence and things acting nicely, so cabin crew is released. God, that cloud looks like it's on fire. Gorgeous. Okay, with no air traffic control around, let's climb flight 180 and set standard pressure. And yeah, obviously no ATC, so we can pop that into open climb 180 blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes. In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available.
Alright, so at 6,000 feet then, we've got spoilers, flaps, gear, and all the lights can come off.
Most major currencies and debit or credit cards. The correct exchange will be greatly appreciated.
And once we pass 10,000 feet, we'll get the seatbelt signs off as well. Now, one of the little directs that comes quite often here, so we can go direct to Dean Cross, so we'll do that. Probably a beam points there as well for our fuel check a little bit later on. Christopher 2729 in the aft cabin. It's not that warm. I'd rather take that than the temperature I had on my British Airways flight to America last year. Oh my god, it was freezing. Wuhan open climb and not managed? No, because there was a constraint on the chart for the departure. So if we'd have left it in managed mode, we would have stayed at 6,000 feet until passing Norbo. I don't want to do that. And unless there's any particular reason to do that, air traffic control don't want to keep it that low either. That just burns fuel that you don't want to be wasting. Right, 10,000 feet, everything's fine. Seatbelt signs, they can come off. Walter Blackmate, good to see you. It says, keep up the great vid streams. Love watching your Microsoft Flight Sim videos, and they're one of the things that got me started into Flight Simulator. Walter, that is awesome. I hope you're having a good time. It's one of those sort of hobbies you can really get sucked into and want to do again and again. And if you're not careful, spend far too much money on. Where did I get the Easyjet camera? Do you know what? It's that long ago. I have no idea. It was a cabin pack I originally created for self-loading cargo. I don't use that anymore. But I've still obviously got the sounds. James, how does it burn more fuel? Because if we're trundling along at 6,000 feet, the air is thicker, so the engines have to work harder to push the aircraft through that thick air. The engines and the aircraft are far more fuel efficient at higher altitudes. So yeah, we don't want to stick around at 6,000 feet for ages. Right, so we passed 10,000 feet. We'll do the usual stuff. We clear out the nav aids in the RadNav page. Can we get up to 35,000 feet? Indeed, yes we can. That is our planned cruise, so we're going to go now. Flight level 350, confirmed 350 blue. Onto the performance phase, cost index is 0. Secondary flight plan, if something goes bang now, I'm probably not going to head back and hold at Glasgow VLR. I mean, to be fair, I could do, it's probably still the best option. So I will keep that in for the time being. We'll get rid of that in a little bit. Just, I think we're flying almost directly away from the sun, so I'm not going to be able to see a gorgeous sunset, am I? Oh, yeah, it is. It's right over there. Lucky. Jim says, Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 community manager stated around 40 minutes ago that Sim Update 15 still in testing and today's release is now postponed. No new date given. Sim Update 15 is also called Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, right? Walter, you currently learning how to be an air traffic control for... Is that VATSIM in Ireland? Excuse my ignorance. Michael, how would you set up the computer for a go-around? You don't. The go-around is already... Well, if you fly the Fenix aircraft, as per the real-world aircraft, your go-around is already there. So the go-around, looking at that, is just straight out 3,000 feet. We can confirm that if we have a look at the chart. Let's have a look. Yeah, there you go. Climb straight ahead 3,000 feet, or it's directed by air traffic control. Yeah, so Southampton Airport, probably one of the easiest go-arounds there is. So you don't need to set it up for a ground. If you had to set it up for a go-around at the last minute, it's not what you want. You want to be able to concentrate purely on flying the aircraft. Mads, good evening. Kickoff. What's my wish list for flights in 2024? Oh, where does that end? Weather radar open to all third-party aircraft. I think that's a big one. So that is that's one of the major things, just holding things like the Fenix aircraft back, and the fly-by-wire. Just want to be able to use that, use a realistic weather radar to avoid build-ups and things. Right, just checking now. We've almost got a very thin layer of cloud that we might be avoiding. I'm just looking to see that we are in icing range at the minute, so... AV8, better CPU performance. Yeah, better performance overall. And I am very hopeful, and I am going to say this, I am optimistic that we are going to get better performance from Flight Sim 2024. So if you've got a PC running Flight Sim 2020 at the moment and you find there are some issues, stuttering, basic performance issues, I think you're not going to have to upgrade your PC for 2024 because it's going to open up the hardware and utilise it more effectively. Chris, what do I prefer flying at the moment? Fly-by-wire or the Fenix? It's got to be the Fenix, just for the extra realism that you get. And occasionally things in this aircraft break. Where were we going to when we ended up diverting the other day? We went to Manchester. I've forgotten where it was, but yeah, we ended up with a hydraulic leak, and yeah, we ended up going somewhere else. Flyby John says he took his 2-year-old for a drive around Heathrow and he's learned to say Airbus. Excellent. It's Airbus easier to say than Boeing. Organ better ground handling. Yeah, the ground friction model, that would be much better. Default GSX or equivalent would be nice as well. Do you know, for me personally, and this is just a very selfish thing for me to say, because I stream and I use only one PC, anything that mitigates the use of extra add-ons, so you know, things like GSX, those of you who like using Active Sky don't really need that. We've obviously got FSLTL if you're not flying on the VATSIM network, injecting proper live weather into it, so you know. Beyond ATC just by default. Can you imagine if Microsoft now just went and bought them out? Kevin, do I not do anything on TikTok? I wouldn't know where to begin, Kevin. I'm far too old for that. Right, we've got the sun setting up my backside, and yeah, looking glorious, I'm sure, outside. Probably need to get rid of that sat dome. Easyjet don't typically come with internet. And Papa Whiskey, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Flyboy John says, Beyond ATC has exceeded my expectations. Still think I'll use FS HUD again. I haven't used FS HUD for a long time. I remember when it first came out, it was like, it was a very, well, it was far better than default ATC, wasn't it? But yeah, I do think Beyond ATC now has taken a lot of people by surprise. It's still, in its early release, there's always going to be bugs. People are always going to find things that aren't quite right with it, even though it's been through really stringent beta testing before it was released. There's still always going to be things that slip through the net, and when you've suddenly got thousands of people, you know, flying it, different things are going to be found, aren't they? But even so, for all the flights and testing and video content creation that I did, sort of to showcase the product, and yeah, you know, so full disclosure, Beyond ATC asked me to do that sort of setup and tutorial video last week prior to its release, which obviously I'm glad to do. I never really had any problems with it. It worked out of the box for me, did exactly as I would have expected it to. There are always things that are going to need to be added, things like intersection departures, for example, would be nice. But there's always also going to be limitations of it. It's not going to know the taxiways for every airport in the world unless those taxiways have been coded into the background of the flight simulator. It needs to have something to read. Frillbat says disagrees about things being sort of ported into Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think third-party devs innovate. They absolutely do. Of course they do, and they push the boundaries, and it's because of them, you know. I mean, my one sort of go-to app that I have to have, it's not an app, it's an add-on, that I have to have is Rex AccuSeasons. I never really speak about it, but it's there. Making the ground change colour, the farms, the fields, obviously the foliage, making it seasonal. Crossy, you're debating between Beyond ATC and Say Intentions. I would like to do a Say Intentions showcase flight. Would you guys like to see that one day? Because I do have a Say Intentions account. So if you guys would like to see a Say Intentions flight live streamed, then we can probably look at doing that sooner rather than later, actually. Hey Matthew, evening, glad to finally have some decent weather here in the UK this week. I know, it's almost like it's spring. BMG Shorts, thank you for the sub. So just looking to see what sort of ATC we've got knocking around. We have got something at Southampton at the minute. I'm not sure what. Might be full control. Might be got London South control covering Southampton. So see that in a little bit. Tally Aviation, going into Heathrow, the different VORs are not the initial approach fixes for the ILS approach. No, they're nowhere near the ILSs, are they? What have you got? Brookham's Park, Ockham, I forget the name. I know there's 4 of them, isn't there? Basically, just radiating out from Heathrow. But they are the holding fixers, and then ATC, the air traffic controllers, will stack the aircraft holding over the VORs and then pick them off one by one to vector them in for the ILS approach. Right, it's 31,000 feet. Love as the sun sets as well. You get the different shades on the clouds. Never ceases to amaze me. Honestly, I cannot. We're obviously expecting lots of new features in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, but what's it going to look like? That's question.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
So obviously flying into Southampton tonight, we've got Inibuild's Southampton, which if you want to grab yourself a copy of Southampton Airport, then you can do so. Link at the top of the chat, also in the video description as well. And using those links too also helps support the channel at the same time. Inibuild's our channel partner. So grab yourself some awesome airport scenery. Southampton, of course, has quite a lot of local flights. In fact, they even have a flight, Easyjet do one from Geneva, and they also do, I think, Barcelona as well, if memory serves. I might have made that up. Might have to double check that. I think they do a flight from Barcelona. Lulu, thank you. Bobbington, Ockham, Lambourne, and Biggin. That's the 4. Get in there at, I don't know, 9,000 feet, work your way down, then get picked off. Kiwi, good evening. Matthew, how is Orbeck's Olbia scenery? Been eyeing that one now. There's some flights have started. I've got that, and as you would expect, it is very nice. I mean, Orbecks don't make bad scenery, do they? Ignando, the cabin announcements, you need they're on by default, but you need to make sure you're listening to them, which is this dial here. Make sure it is pulled out so it's lit up, and then this is the volume. So, in real life, pilots don't listen to that. They don't care. Before maybe making a PA to the cabin, they'll probably just pull it out and make sure that the cabin crew aren't trying to sell them a credit card or something. But yeah, most of the time they're not listening to that. Right, 500 feet to go. And then at keypad, we'll look at doing a fuel check. We'll get some on route weathers, maybe for Manchester, Bristol, see what's happening in Southampton as well. In fact, I tell you what, I've not got airports on the AFIS. Set my situational awareness then. I'm thinking, where are we? Yeah, Manchester is just down there. It's a bit hazy tonight. Tyler, can pilots hear the announcements in real life? Yeah, as I just said, if they're monitoring the sort of the PA system, then yes they can. Right, 35,000 feet. Let's cost index to 4. Now we're going to clear the secondary flight plan. There we go, that's done. And now we just go through the SD pages and make sure there's nothing looking strange. We had an APU fail on us as well the other week, didn't we? Which we noticed whilst we were in the air. Just by checking through the SD pages. So they're all fine. Yeah, it was this page, the fuel page. APU was showing amber, which says that something's busted, needs fixing. Okay, so everything's normal down there. Good. Everything is normal up here. Good. So, we're going to send off for some en route weathers. So we'll just check out Manchester. As I say, that's just to the left of us. Send that off. We'll have a look at Bristol. And we'll also have a look, of course, at Southampton. Whilst I'm waiting for those to come in then, our landing weight is going to be 63.7, so let's call that 64 tons. And now, with that, let's do a landing calculation. 64 tons. So, oh, where have you gone? Oh, that's departure. No. Yeah, so just grab the latest meta and apply that. It's cab okay, there's no rain, so dry conditions, wind is well, that's quite interesting then, because the wind is now reported there 000 at 0. That suggests to me, I reckon runway 02 is not going to be in use. So let's see if we can just pick up ATIS and see what runway they're using. It is 13088. I hope they're using runway 02.
1950 Zulu. Runway in use 02.
Oh, good.
Transition level, flight level 70. Surface, wind calm. Cab okay. Temperature +14. Viewpoint +11. QNH 1026. London control is open. Departing aircraft make initial contact on frequency 129.430. Acknowledge receipt of information Zulu and advise aircraft type on first contact.
Okay, so that's
Southampton
everything.
information Zulu.
Yeah, so that's good. That means we're still using runway 02. Perfect. That's the approach I was hoping to do tonight. So 64 is our landing weight. That looks a little bit concerning, doesn't it? Water brake medium, flap full. Yeah, so water brake medium it is, and then we can get in. No flaps 3 landing, which is a shame. Flaps 3 is always good fun, and I always find generally a little bit easier. So that's done. Let's just fill in the performance page that we've got as well. If I just before we do that, where's my weather messages? So Manchester is fine. UK has got very stable weather for the first time in weeks tonight. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. So, just see what the flight plan looks like and make sure this is somewhat what we're expecting for the RNAV approach. Yeah, so it takes us to Southampton VOR, but we're probably going to be vectored by air traffic control to BAM2, which is fine. We'll have a look at the chance flight in a moment. RadNav page, obviously we'll get Southampton in there. Make sure it's the right one. It'll be the 150 miles away, not 1,050 miles away. Echo Golf Hotel India 02. And let's fill out the landing information. So QNH is 1026. The temperature is 14 degrees. Winds are winds calm 000 at 0. We're going to do flaps full landing, yep, and then what are the minimums? Just need to check those. So we can use final approach mode for this, LNAV, VNAV, then that's going to be 510. Fine. Right, box is set. Okay, so let's brief. So we'll check the flight plan. We're coming in then on the where's it gone? The Book Up on Sierra arrival. That's Book Up rising. Coming in then to Newbury. once we get top of descent, which is only in a couple of minutes actually, we'll start descent down flight level 150. We'll follow the profile all the way down till ATC picks us up and tells us to do something different. We can then expect vectors from Pepys. They might take us to Southampton, but I guess almost from Pepys they'll peel us off, bring us around, and then we've got the RNP approach. RNP approach then, 2,500 feet bound to platform altitude 17. It's an all 3-degree glide path angle. Final approach mode for this. It's fine. It's not freezing cold. We aren't allowed to use it. So that's straightforward. MSA as we're coming is 2,300 feet. Transition altitude 6,000 feet. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty straightforward. Once we've landed then at Southampton. Where's the chart gone? There we go. Once we've landed at Southampton, I'm not sure we can get off at Bravo. That's probably not going to work for us. Terrain turbulence. Yeah, it's not windy enough for turbulence tonight. Don't worry about that. Can we turn around on the runway? It's 37 meters wide, so yeah, we can. Are we allowed to? Let me have a quick look. I think we'll probably end up turning around on the turning pad. Generally, a good rule of thumb for the A320 is any runway you can land on, you can technically turn around on. Hey, Ruben. Once we've landed, obviously, we need to get off at Bravo. It's just whether we turn all the way around. I think we probably will. Okay, threats and error management then. Well, the first threat is we missed top of descent a bit. It's fine. Okay, so as briefed, let's go down then. We are descending flight level 15. So as we are high now, let's just pop that into open descent. We'll wind the speed up as well. Thrust idle, open descent, 150 blue, down we go. Actual flaps 3 landings more fuel efficient. Yes, they are actually. Yeah. East Midlands Airport over there somewhere, and on the drive back up home from Southampton this weekend, we actually stopped at a service station which just happened to be under the approach pass for Birmingham, and my lad and I were very excited when we just happened to arrive at the right time to see the Emirates A380 was quite low overhead, which was always a spectacular sight. With Carl says Southampton, very small airport, going to be interesting with an A320. It is, but it's done in real life, so we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything we shouldn't. Okay, I'm just going to wind that speed up there. We'll go 275. I'll keep it away from VMO and get us down a bit quicker. All right, so down we go. So yeah, we're just talking about sort of threat, a bit of a threat and error management. Then again, for this, it's the biggest threat is the runway. You know, short runway, only about 1,700 meters. So if it's looking like we're going long, we will go around and we'll do it again. We're not going to risk overrunning the end of the runway. That would be disastrous. That's our biggest threat. It's not a massive runway either. It's only about 37 meters wide. So again, that's something to take into account. And you don't want to drop below this because there's a bit of terrain. Again, there's just a bit of local knowledge. There's a bit of terrain coming in at this airport, some trees and things. So don't drop too low, particularly as we're coming in at night. We won't be able to see those until we hit them. So just keep on those pappies and keep an eye on the flight path angle. All the aircraft is fine as well. Nothing is broken that's going to prevent us from legally performing the RNF approach, or RNP approach as it is now. So that's fine. All is well. Good night, Organ. See you next time. Touch Guy, do you combine FSTraffic and FSLTL for mod matching? I do. Yes. Both FSLTL and FSTraffic provide a VMR file for use with VATSIM. And I just tell VATSIM to use both of them. And it does pretty well. Atora, is Sim Update 15 out? No, it's not. We've been speaking about that this evening. A few people telling us that they've officially announced that it's now delayed. Limon, smallest airport you've landed in with the Fenix is Florence in Italy. Only 1.56 meter. I think it's possible. In real life, I mean. You know, I'd have to get the performance calculator out and see what it says. But yeah, I think that's possible as long as it's not too heavy, and as long as it's not raining, of course. You know, that's a big factor. Like we discussed right at the start of this stream, that's going to affect your stopping distance, which ultimately dictates can you or can't you land. Right, as it turns out, ATC is now going to fly. So we are going to go with our original plan of just flying south from Pepys. We'll vector ourselves in and around. And we'll be fine. Rare to have quiet skies over the UK, isn't it? So, pickup is 20 miles away. That's the first point of our star this evening. Can't see any other traffic in our way either tonight, so I think we're going to be in pretty straightforward. Flight time tonight was 55 minutes. I think that is going to work for us tonight. Cabin crew about 25 minutes for landing. It's probably a bit less than that actually. So as you can see, we're still high on the profile. I'll just have a quick look at how high we are. 3,000 feet. Alright, let's wind that speed down a little bit more. Or rather, wind the speed up a little bit more to get down. Have some mood lighting in the flight deck. You know, I can't actually see any other aircraft flying either, which is very rare. So as we start the approach as well, let's have a quick look and see how we're doing with regards to fuel. We've got 2.9 tons on there. if memory serves, what was the CNR for our flight tonight? Was that 2.9 tons? Just going to double check. Oh, 2.1. Say 2.1. So if it drops below 2.1, we've got to confirm where we're going. We're getting into Bristol, or what are we doing? Got a few smaller airfields knocking around. We can just see there on the EFS page, and therefore look out, see those. Matthew, the UK has been abnormally quiet throughout the whole day on VATSIM. Matthew, do you know why? It's because for the first time this year, the UK has had decent weather. So everyone's going out and cutting their grass and doing all the things that normally they would have done months ago. That's that's why. So I've got some traffic just to the right of us there. It's 600 feet, 700 feet above us. It is about 50 miles out, that's fine. Do you know what? I didn't set TCAS to below. That was naughty of me. Ricardo says that's very true. Everyone's in the beer garden after work. Yeah, and I don't blame them. Lemon says, I have to tell you, your voice is just as lovely as a first officer in Beyond ATC as it is in the captain's seat. Well, captains can easily fly as a first officer, and they do regularly. Alright, cancel master caution, disregarding cap, clear. Speed and alt star. Okay, well, we'll continue to descend via the SID now. Flight level 90. And we've got 110 magenta. Grab Wildcat, good evening. You join us as we are on our approach now in towards Southampton. I'm a little bit gutted actually that it's dark. I would have loved to have seen the scenery. One thing I never realised about Southampton harbour is, my God, it's long. The tugboats have to sort of tow you out. It takes ages before you're allowed to operate under your own steam. I know very little about shipping, but my God, the size of those things. Matthew explained 25 degrees C here when I'm up north in England on Saturday. Said to say you'll be enjoying that. Do you know what I was enjoying? Even though I was out of the country, I was so glad to see you football fans, my mighty Owls, managed to escape and survive another year in the Championship. God bless Danny Royal. For the football followers in the stream. Right, so we'll set 250 knots and we'll pop it into open descent. So thrust out low descent, 100 blue. Just allow that speed to bleed off. Get the landing lights out. Harrison says, typical, as soon as my medical is suspended and can't fly, the weather is amazing. Yeah. Sod's law. Ricardo, we might see Manchester United in the Championship next year if they carry on. Do you know what it does mean though for fans of football in Sheffield? We get derbies. I love a good Steel City derby. always a nervous wreck, of course, but always good fun. Boarding time. It's Eurovision. Eurovision. Have I missed something? Is it actually Saturday? Can't be Eurovision. That doesn't make sense. Oh, is it the semi-finals tonight and Thursday? Oh, well, that's another reason to be here instead. Right, so we're at 10,000 feet. We're going to start the descent in a minute. I'm just checking what has our profile like. 47 miles, easy. So just start a nice steady descent, 500 feet per minute. And that will start to work nicely for us. So the plan will be at Pepys, we'll pull heading, fly 180, and bring ourselves in for the RNAV approach at Bantu. Fruitbat says, the Eurovision is now, it's a week long. Marketing folks got their hands on it. Well, gotta make their money somehow, haven't they? With Carl says on that note, I'm going to sing myself to sleep. Best of luck with Southampton. How do you sing yourself to sleep? Ricardo, any idea when the A350 from Inable is going to release? Not a Scooby-Doo. Interesting to see what everyone's first flight of choice will be for that. I might do Doha to Manchester, Qatar. They fly the nice A350, don't they? Mind you, British Airways have got a few A350s now. The first A350 they got, they kept bumping it into things. Things kept falling off it. Bit of a lemon, that one. Carl, good night. Hope to see you next time. If you have enjoyed this though, before leaving, then please do hit that like button on the stream. Of course, as I said a little bit earlier, flying into Innerbuild, Southampton tonight, so if you want to grab yourself a copy of this airport, then please do use the link at the top of the chat. That's for all the Innerbuild scenery as well. But if you want Southampton specifically, there's a link to that in the video description below. Well, Matthew, Virgin still use a lot of their A330s from Manchester now, don't they? Right, so let's pop into heading mode. We'll go 180. There is Southampton. Southampton traffic, easy 415, currently 12 miles north of Southampton, and we're going to be making the RMP approach, runway 02 with right-hand traffic back.
Southampton traffic, the opportunity 39, 15 miles to the southeast of Southampton, flight level 70. We'll also be running the runway 2.
So he's southeast of Southampton, so he is over there somewhere. Not what I want TCAS actually. Oh, there he is. That's fine. So I'm going to tuck him behind him and we'll just come out a little bit. We'll keep that descent going. platform altitude for this, we want to be 2,500 feet about to. So we'll now set 2,500 blue, VS is 500, local QNH 1026, get everyone strapped in, and the approach checklist. So Barref QNH is 1026, seatbelt signs are on, minimums are 510, auto brake medium, and EFB is stopped. And with that, approach phase is activated, so let's start slowing it down. And just as we do that, the awesome Flight Designs, better known as Dark Fury of course, gifted 5 Easyjet Simpilot channel memberships. Oh, what a great way to kickstart our week. Thank you so much, Dark Flight Designs. Welcome to our new members. That is awesome. Thank you so much, mate. So, there's that traffic ahead of us. Pop this into open descent now. Thrust idle, open descent. Let's tidy up the flight plan as well, actually. So, well, we'll go direct BAM 2. That'll do it for us in a few minutes. Keeping an eye on that traffic once he's come in. Oh, the sky there. That's awesome. Lanzaria, I actually don't know. So it says some airports don't have every station available for like Inverness or has tower and approaches is simulated and beyond ATC. I would imagine so, because they've got to get they use the real live frequencies. So I would imagine that is indeed simulated. Right then, so let's just bring our aircraft round. So heading 200. Just following this aircraft now. I wonder if I can see my ship.
Southampton traffic, Walker 2489 is 4 miles south of BAM2, routing to be on runway 2, Southampton.
So there's the airport. Whilst we were in Southampton Port as well, they were using runway 02, so you get a great view of the aircraft when you're on the top deck. Looked really nice. So let this aircraft go past us and then we'll make a base turn after it. With that then, let's go flaps 1, speed's checked, flaps 1. Clear the system page. And pull speed 180. Almost to beam BAM 2, and then that is when I'll go direct. That'll tidy up the flight plan at the same time as well.
Southampton traffic, Walker 249, overhead BAM 2 for the RNAV runway 2, Southampton.
There we go, so we now know where he is. Great comms being used there. So now let's go direct BAM 2, insert that. yeah, this is what I meant by Southampton Harbour. I never realised just how big it was, because it weaves its way almost into the country, doesn't it? For anyone that knows it. I didn't know it until Friday evening. I'd never sailed from there before. So radar altimeter is alive.
Southampton traffic, Walker 239 is our 5-mile final, runway 2. We do not expect to need a backtrack.
I do. Okay, flaps 2, speed check. Flaps 2. So BAM2 has us 9 miles out. I don't see an aircraft there. Is that him? If it is, let's start slowing down. So I'm going to push for managed speed. We'll slow down a little further out than normal. To be fair, BAM2 is only 9 miles out, so nothing wrong with sorting ourselves out now. So after BAM2, when the final attempt point is the 2 waypoint, which is Hotel India 02 Fox, we'll push for the approach. And we need to get down now 1,700. So thrust idle up, send 1,700 blue. Southampton traffic easy 415 overhead BAM2 reducing to final approach speed on the RNAV for runway 02 Southampton traffic.
Ow.
See, I told you get animal noises. Dodo FR says we could tell this is going to be a butter landing. Well, it probably won't be, and to be fair, you usually don't want it to be. It's a short runway. Let's make a good positive contact, get down, and stop before we run out of tarmac. Tarmac, asphalt, concrete, whatever it's made of. Oh, there's my ship. might not have been. Looks about the right size. Okay, flaps 3, speed checked, flaps 3, gear down, spoilers, lights, approach nav, final approach,
Traffic,
armed.
Walker 249, clear of runway 2, Southampton.
And yeah, all's good, final approach mode, engaged, flaps full, landing checklist. So our cabin is secured, seatbelt signs are on, minimums 510, auto brake medium, EFB is stowed. Probably just missed it actually, but our boat was docked, our ship rather was docked around here actually, pretty much just on there, which is really cool to see now in the simulator, having been there in real life recently. 1,000 feet. Okay, autopilot's disengaged. I've got control. Got 3. Oh, there we go. 2 whites, 2 reds. Slight wind from the right. It is very slight. Oh, Leon, I was on a cruise at the weekend. That's why I was away. So only a mini cruise, obviously. That's minimums coming up.
Minimum.
Continue. Pretty certain all these trees are not here in real life.
100.
They look a bit close, don't they?
50. 30. 75.
Okay, spoilers, reverse, screen, decel. Yeah, I had to get that aircraft down. I was going to hit a tree. I was definitely going to hit a tree if we'd have followed that profile all the way down. I think maybe Rex Aki Seasons is throwing something in there that shouldn't be there. You know it's not going to be the smoothest of landing when it jumps from 50 to 30. Although I did hear 5. Try and salvage it at the end. Touchdown zone. Center line. What more do you need? Southampton traffic easy 415. Land at runway 02. Now going to backtrack runway 20. We've just run over a cat. So this is the new runway extension, isn't it, I think? Is that at this end? Loving the train there as well. Speaking of cats, someone's cat, not ours. I opened the door today to the postman. And some random cat from off the street who was very loving just ran into the house. Clearly looking for food. What colour is this runway? Does anybody else think this looks red? Looks more like a running track than a runway. Ricardo, yes, the road to Buckingham Palace. Right, so we'll vacate here on Bravo, I think it is. Stand 4 or 4 or 5 from GSX. Oh, Lulu, harsh. What did the rate say? I know it was something daft like 800 FPM. Adrian says there's no trees there in real life, just a motorway. Oh. I Thought even if there were trees there in real life, someone would have cut them back. 499. Oh, that's okay. I don't get a load 15 report for that. I just don't get applause from the passengers. Anyway, aircraft's still in good working order. That's all that matters. Okay, APU's running. It was Ryanair territory. Yeah, it was a bit of a Ryanair moment. Let's call it that, Doc. Quite right too. Michael, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, here we are. Southampton. Let's go and let the passengers recover their luggage. All their broken cargo. Look, I was just thinking that. I'm not going to go and greet those passengers. Ash says it's perfect timing. 4:50 AM. Time to get ready for work. Oh man, Ash, where are you? Australia? Is the Premier in here? We stopped at the Premier Inn at Southampton, that's the only reason I asked. And it's just down there, I think, so might be behind this building. There's a big Royal Mail building there, I noticed the other night. Ah, Ash, Western Australia, fair enough. But yeah, great airport this. If anyone wants to get it, again, link in the video description and at the top of the chat. And you can also support the channel as well by grabbing it from Inner Builds. There we go, job done. Oh, parking brake is set. Well, I'm not going to shut the engines and shut everything down because we'll check out the replay in a little moment. But I do want to just see, have we got, yeah, has the inner build scenery, oh it has! Oh, that's incredible. They've got the Premier Inn. Not only have they got the Premier Inn, the car park is absolutely spot on. I parked my car right there. The level of detail now is just awesome. They haven't actually got interiors of the rooms, have they? No. I'm looking at these hotel rooms. They haven't got... I shouldn't be peeping through people's hotel rooms, but... have they actually got... I mean, they've done a pretty decent job the way that's moving around. The decor's not quite right for Premier Inn, but we'll let them off. That's the wrong coloured carpet. That is awesome. Can't believe they've actually gone to that much trouble. Too many Audi SUVs in that car park. Well, there you go. But yeah, because we were, we were stopping, and we could actually see out there at the aircraft that we were taxiing up on this sort of stand here. So that is really, really neat. Anyway, I'm going to check out that replay now. So let me just come off VATSIM as we do that and disconnect from there. And yeah, where's that replay? And you know what? Just for a nice, scenic approach, let's just wind that back to a sunset. How's that? Keeper says lots of rich people in Southampton. Beautiful. Yeah, so that's the dock, obviously. to be sort of shown there. That's St Mary's football ground. And I think, if I got it right, that's the terminal we were at, the Horizon terminal, just there. Which looks stunning. Oh, so much detail. I think Southampton is one of the photogrammetry cities as well, though, isn't it, if memory serves. Which also means I can trace the route that I ended up, thanks to a complete mishap between my wife and I. I dropped her off with the kids at the terminal, drove a mile to the car park, parked up, realised I'd left the keys with my wife, so couldn't lock the car, couldn't restart the car because it was keyless entry, and ended up having to run down there, run back, and then run back to the dockhead. So I ended up running 3 miles in about half an hour, which I actually thought I'd done quite well. But yeah, definitely a gorgeous airport to come into. You wouldn't really think of it, Southampton. It's just on the, obviously, the south coast, but the view of the docks when you're on runway 02 looks brilliant. As is the replay built into the sim? No, it's a free add-on called Sky Dolly, which is free to pick up from FlightSim.to. Yeah, Lemon, it wasn't the big into the holiday that I wanted. Thailand Aviation, it's an innie-build airport, so yes, you can grab that from the links in the video description on top of the channel top of the chat window as well. Actually, I didn't think that touchdown looked as bad as I originally thought. Could have been worse. Well, guys, there we go. Oh, really enjoyed that. I wanted to do this flight just because I wanted to see the Southampton scenery in the simulator after seeing it in real life this weekend. And that looks incredible. The fact they've got even the details of the Premier in there is awesome. So guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight after being away for a few days. Always great to catch up with you. Our next live stream, as always, posted on our Discord server. If you're not already a member, then get yourself in there. Of course, if you are also a channel member, make sure you get into the VIP rooms and members lounge as well. On your way out, then please don't forget to hit that like button, and of course, if you are new, don't forget to hit subscribe as well, so you don't miss our future live streams. I'm going to leave you with a final replay as we land over the docks and see it in all its glory. I might even wind it to instead of sunset, have a look at the other time and check a full daytime landing out. Thanks so much, everyone. See you all next time. Thanks for your support as well to our Easyjet and Pilot channel members. As always, whatever you're doing the rest of the day, have a great evening, and I'll see you all again very soon. Good night.
500. Retard.